Hello, and welcome back. I had a bit of a brain fuzz for the past week, so it's been a week since you've seen me. Today we have a bit of a special event. Tobiasa. Hello, welcome in. Glad you could make it. Glad to see you. Let me get out. I had to move this to the sink because it was leaking in the fridge. In fact, I'm going to get a bowl so that it doesn't leak anywhere else while I'm moving it around. We have a little bit of a special event for me. I put some pork belly into marinade yesterday, late afternoon, right around this time. So it's been in there for 24 hours. This is a strange concoction. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope she's as adorable as I remember. We have, so this is it's my own concoction. It's sugar, molasses, soy sauce, and red wine. You might think there's not a lot of flavors going on in there, and it's because there's not. Most of those flavor compounds don't actually absorb into meat for a marinade like this. They just end up on the surface. And I really wanted this to sort of soak in. So the only things that are in there are things that I'm pretty sure will soak in pretty well. And now to cook this, it would normally take a long ass time. So we're attempting the pressure cooker to see if we can't make this speed up in a quick way. As for the nature of the special event, we have a friend arriving from out of town, and I have invited him over to partake in this deliciousness. So he may be arriving at some point during the stream. So that could happen, or they could be like last time. I had a guest and they never showed their face at all until we were already done. So either way, it could happen. Also, whatever else we do, we have to get this started first because it needs the most time to potentially get rolling. So let's get this stuff out of here. Look at the color. Look at the color this has taken on. Oh, there's a little bald patch right there. Interesting. Yo. Welcome in. So we will see. I've never done pork belly in the pressure cooker. I'm not sure how it's going to work. But we will. The out-of-town guest is with you. Amazing. Well, as I said, you're welcome to arrive at any time you feel like it. Wash my hands real quick. I need to measure how much liquid I've got because I need to know how much liquid to put in my pot there. So we're going to wash my hands real quick so I can handle other things. The color on that pork is already looking very, very nice. And that's going to be a combination of the soy sauce, probably mostly the soy sauce. I find that that gives you the strongest sort of quick darkening of marinade meats. But as I said, we need to know how much of this I've got because the pressure cooker has a certain required amount of liquid in order to function. And this liquid is very thick and flavorful. We're going to cut it with some water to And then this is going to have to sit and do its thing for quite a long time. So I will be working on other things for the entirety of the time. So get a good look at it. You're not going to see it for probably 2 hours. We've got just over a cup of our liquid, which I'm going to use as braising liquid, but we're going to add another at least 2 cups of just plain old water to this. Because there needs to be enough liquid in here to act as a braise. I kind of want to add just a bit more. I kind of want to get it up to just below the top of the top of where the fat caps are sticking out. They can stick out. They don't need to be submerged, which is good because these things will probably float if I do that much water. But so that we added 4 cups of water. So hopefully this works out. I'm going to add a few things to this before it goes in, because now we're at the stage where flavors can develop. So let's throw in some garlic powder. Let's throw in some. Should have put this in and then rinsed it off with the water, so it was sort of floating around in there. Onion powder and some black pepper. These flavors don't absorb during a marinating process, but in the heat, they'll infuse into the liquid. Okay. So this is an experiment for me. I was reading about how to do pork bellies in the pressure cooker, and a thing that kept coming up was, pork bellies might not be the best thing for pressure cookers. And I'm like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. So we're going to find out what it do. How high can I take this? Well, you can pressure cook for a long time. We're not leaving it for 3 hours. We're going to put it at 1.5 hours. Yep. Okay. Say goodbye to the meat. You can't really see it, of course, because it's here. It's up at the top, off the top edge, as always, because there's no good place to put that thing in my cramped little kitchen here. Oh, now we have a pretty slow-moving the rest of the thing. I need to concoct a side and a service idea. I think rice is going to be our main starch. But I don't just want rice with a piece of meat on top, so we are I also wish I could taste that stuff. I kind of want to use the liquid in a reduction after the fact to make a sauce. But I can't taste it now because it's full of raw pork. So it really kind of guesswork to see if I can make it taste right. I know I want to do rice, so we're going to do some rice. Some rice. As long as we're using one magic machine, we may as well use 2 magic machines. Let's make some rice. That's not the right sized cup. We're going to rinse this right in the... We're going to have the fun of watching me rinse, but only the back of my head because I have to do it over in the sink. But we're going to rinse it right in the cooker here, which is the easiest way to do it. You just fill this guy up with water, swish it around, and then drain the water off. Do that a couple times. And that's all it takes. And I can set this to cooking now, even though it's not going to take nearly as long as the pork, because the machine will keep it warm when it's done. Here, you can at least look at the back of my head. You can at least look at the back of my head, haloed out by this thing, while I'm rinsing the rice. I often don't rinse my rice. I'm not a stickler about it. I just accept that my rice is going to be a little bit gummy. But you really should rinse your rice if you want those nice loose grains. Or as I've mentioned many times before, use the deep water boiled method, and then you don't have to worry about rinsing your rice. You get nice, clean, individual grains, and it doesn't take as long. It's the easiest way to do rice. You just need a giant pot. I've lost a few grains of rice. I'm washing a little bit too vigorously here. But we probably only need 2 rinses because we're already looking pretty clear. The more water you use in your rinse, the faster it rinses because the water can only hold so much starch. So a larger volume of water picks up more starch per rinse. So in theory, you could just do 1 rinse if you've got a big pot, which is kind of the logic behind the deep water boil. It's just sufficient water that you don't need a rinse. It absorbs the excess starches. Okay. Okay, let's come back. Turn that light off so we're not blowing out the camera anymore. You can see that you can see clear through there. That's what you're looking for with your rinsed rice. Someday I'll have a camera over by the sink, and then we can all watch me do things in the sink. Someday. Okay. Wipe us down. Wipe us down. Okay. Onward and forward. There will be cabbage in this, I have decided, because there was a cabbage sitting just off camera left. And I guess that's the deciding factor. Along with the red wine, we have a very purplish red wine-colored meal coming together. I always stop talking when I sharpen my knives, and I don't know why. Okay. So you want to get that core nodule out. That part's not good eating. What do we do with cabbage? I mean, lots of things to do with cabbage. It's an extremely versatile vegetable. But what specifically do I want to do with cabbage? We're just going to start grabbing stuff and prepping and see what happens. I have some generalized thoughts, but some of it is contingent on knowing what the pork's going to taste like. I guess I'm kind of in my head thinking the pork is going to be like barbecue, even though it's not. And it's sort of leading me towards doing a slaw. But it's not going to be like barbecue, and I don't think I'm going to make a slaw. So we're kind of... I'm kind of unsure where I'm taking this. Selena, hello, welcome in. You are officially first. You're the first one here. No one arrived before you. Congratulations. Welcome in. You've missed, I had to put it in real quick because it's going to take the absolute longest, but you've missed it. We put in some red wine soy marinated pork belly in the pressure cooker because it's going to take forever to pressure cook, so we're waiting on that. And I am just sort of bumbling around coming up with what else we're going to serve with it. And I decided red cabbage is going to be part of that on account of I had a red cabbage here that I need to use. Saizan. Saizan is also here. Welcome in. Hello. I hope there's enough time after the pork comes out to turn it into a to reduce it and turn it into a sauce, because I think that will be tasty, especially once it has some of the dissolved fats and collagens from the meat. Oh, and I'm being moistened. I don't have a glass. I need to get a glass. I need to fill it with water. I need to take a sip. Moist. Thank you for the moisten. I was feeling a little dry. It's weird. It's really humid today, but also my throat's a little bit dry. Um, Bookwoman. Bookwoman's also here. A sweet and sour cabbage dish. So I have a sort of a vision of a pile of rice with little slices of pork belly perched atop. And I like that vision. I just feel like I didn't want it to just be rice and meat. And also, making just rice and meat would be very boring because they both go into their respective pots and cook themselves. The pressure cooker is already almost up to pressure, which is very impressive. Although the little float hasn't risen up yet, so we're not quite there. But I can smell. Ooh. First of all, I can hear it bubbling in there, but also I can smell the wine. Which I really hope the fact that there is alcohol in the pot does not impact the pressure cooker at all. There's not a ton of it in there. There's half a cup of wine to 4 cups of water and a... So... and I think my float just rose up, so we're about to hit pressure on that. Yeah, it's weirdly warm. Weirdly warm, weirdly very humid, like sticky humid. I don't like it. It makes me feel like there's going to be a storm. Sweet and sour cabbage. Elaborate. I've got a couple of green onions here. The tail end of some farmer's market green onions. We're going to use them because they need to be used. Gosh, so exciting. Everyone showed up right at the start. Sugar, brown sugar, and vinegar. Maybe. We have lots of time to think about it, and play around and do other things. The cooker just beeped, indicating that it is up to pressure and is starting the long, slow, although not as long or as slow as unpressure. Hopefully, tenderizing of those pork bellies. They're pretty small. They were. It was a smallish piece that I then cut in half because it was too long to fit in my marinating bag or into the cooker. So I'm hoping that the smallness of the pieces will make up for the fact that, according to my reading, specific to my own machine, the Ninja Foodie, not a sponsor, I wish they were, I'm not big enough for sponsors. But when I am eventually big enough for sponsors, hey Ninja. Apparently getting the pork belly to that absolute just melt in your mouth state. Pressure cookers can't quite get there. We're going to save these parts. I think the green bits here are going to be a nice garnish at the end. We have an ad approaching already. Wow, that first half hour just flew by. Cabbage, green onions. You say put the cabbage in soon because it takes a while to cook, and it does. But I still think it's overshadowed by the amount of time the meat is going to take to cook. So I have time to sort of fuss a little bit. I picked up. I always have some odds and ends around. I've got a green pepper. We could do like a. I was thinking earlier about something like just fajita vegetables. So hot, fast saute, almost stir fried onions, peppers, and maybe some of the cabbage, just as a vegetable, and then you include that in the bowl with the stuff. So it's sort of naked vegetables that get sauced by whatever comes out of that pot. But I don't know that what comes out of that pot is going to work as a sauce. The meat should be fine. The sauce might not work. I don't really want the cabbage to be just raw cabbage crunchy, because it's pretty crunchy. I like it, but I think it is better when it's been cooked to sort of a tender crisp level. So I do want to cook it with something. We've already got a weird combination of like a sweet soy sauce, almost like a teriyaki, combined with a more French style or Italian style wine marinade. So we can do. We're already in fusion territory, so I can do more fusion. Sorry, I didn't really plan the vegetable out in advance, so we are absolutely winging it. I can make two things too. There's nothing stopping me from making two things. There's nothing stopping me from making two things. Squeak. I'm gonna want an onion either way, so we're gonna get out an onion. I cook like this all too often, where I'm just like, well, I know I'll want this ingredient, so I'll just prep this ingredient without a clear plan of what the finished dish is going to be. It's also possible I could make multiple. Oop, there's a spot on this onion. Right there. Doesn't look so good. We will just get rid of that. I have in the past done like a poke bowl style, where you have your starchy base and then you've got multiple things sort of assembled on the. Oh, there's the ad. It snuck up on me, as it always does. So I could make more than one thing as sort of a bit of this, a bit of that. Build your own little bowl. That could be fun. That might actually be the best idea, is to just make a few options here, a few different things. Whoa, that's a spicy onion. Dang. Or maybe I'm more sensitive to onions than I used to be. They keep getting me these days. Oh. Oh, man. My eyes. They burn. Ah. Fuck. Sorry. Language. Damn it. Well, I guess that's gonna be a flavorful onion if it's gassing my eyes that hard. Jeez. What happened? bowl. I'm usually not sensitive to onions, so I don't deal with it. I just get angry because it happens so rarely for me. The actual answer is get a sharper knife. If your knife is razor sharp, you produce less of the volatile compounds because the stuff is coming out as the slightly dull knife crushes the cells of the onion. Oh, my camera's drooped. So the sharper your knife is, the less crushing there is, and the more sort of neat separating there is, and you get less of that. Oh. Otherwise, I don't have a solution. I don't think there's any good, like... I know there's a lot of hacks out there, but I don't put stock in any of them. And normally it's not a big issue for me. I'll get a little sting, but not a big one. Okay, let's get this guy open too, since I picked him up. And I have a bad habit of letting peppers go wrinkly, and let's not do that this time. Really, I should have my knives all sharpened. That's probably why I've been experiencing it more, is because knives are getting a little old, and I don't really have a good sharpener. I've got that little hand sharpener, but that's only good as like a stopgap. I probably should take it to some place to have them reground, or and the edge ground back on them, because I've had these knives forever, and they were pretty cheap knives to begin with, so I don't think they're holding their edge. Actually, I think a bunch of these knives were free. I got them out of the abandoned. One of many things I got from the old house, left behind, the knife block. If you're not familiar with the story, I lived for a few years in a house that was a very strange setup. It was all a shared space. It was the individual bedrooms were rented, and it had not been fully cleared of tenants for many, many years. So there was this accumulation of stuff that didn't belong to anybody, who had just sort of been gradually left behind. And I was one of the last tenants in the place because it was sold, and the new owner didn't want to piecemeal it out like that. So they also wanted to stop and fix the place up a little bit. So they ended everyone's leases at the end of the term, and everyone moved out, and there was all this stuff, just stuff that got left behind. And quite a bit of it was good stuff. There was a set of knives, there was a lot of pots and pans, there was my kitchen table that I currently have, which we had all thought that belonged to the house, the owners of the house, when we moved in, but it apparently did not, because they didn't take it when they sold it, and the new owners didn't want it. So a table and a set of dining chairs, which was a big find. I got a recliner out of that house. I got this rice cooker out of that house, the one we're using today. All sorts of stuff. It was weird how much stuff was left behind. We ended up throwing away a lot of stuff, in fact. I kind of regret not saving one of the many couches that got abandoned there. I didn't have room for it, but now I do, and it'd be nice to have it, but oh well, too late. Bowl. Oop. Okay. I don't have any of those spatulas from that I saved. They got used to death, but I've got a bunch of other stuff, ladles and things that don't get used nearly as often that have held up. And yeah, this knife, my most used knife. I mean, it's my most used knife because it's the chef's knife from the set. So it would be, my chef's knife would be my most used knife regardless of whether I got it for free. It's not like it's a top quality knife. But it's not bad. It was a lot of work cleaning that place out. It was, yeah. It was weird. That was weird. Okay, we have some vegetables sliced up. Sweet and sour. Cabbage was suggested. Sweet and sour red cabbage. Interesting. That does take a little while because it's stewed. We could do that. We could take half the cabbage, turn it into that, do the other half as interesting. Butter, cabbage, sugar. I don't have any balsamic, but I have black vinegar, so we could use black vinegar. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use part of this cabbage for that. I think that was an interesting shout. So let's get it started. Ooh, we're low on butter. We're low on butter. How much butter is that? It may not take 40 minutes. Well, we have more than 40 minutes to work on it, so it could take 40 minutes. Let's get that butter melting. Salt, sugar, black vinegar. Ugh. Ads everywhere. I might make some modifications to that. Off the top of my head, actually, I'm going to make a modification to that right away. We're going to add carrots to it. We're going to pull it in the direction of a slaw, but like a cooked slaw. Get out a couple of these purple carrots. Everything's purple. It's a very, very purple food coming together today, which is strange. The cabbage is going to take more time than the carrots because I'm going to grate the carrots down pretty skinny. But let's take the tops off of the carrots. That one's green in the middle. Interesting. Box grater. Carrots will also add some sweetness to this. Carrots are naturally very sugary. Even though they don't taste super sugary, they have a lot of sugar in them, which is expressed when you cook them. Hey, show of hands, who's afraid of cutting your fingers on a box grater? Well, behold, as I mash my hand right into it. I have cut myself on a box grater, I think, one time ever. They seem like they're more dangerous than they are. Now, this side, with the little pointy bits, that'll probably scratch you up. This side, with the little scallops, I think I've cut myself one time ever, and I was shocked when it happened, because it's so rare. But I know it's a common thing to think. Because it sure logically seems like you're going to be able to cut yourself. If it can go through a carrot like that. But they've done a really good job of shaping those little holes so that they don't have a point to really grab into your skin. Our butter over on the stove is becoming foamy. So we will add, I have more cabbage if I need more cabbage as well. So it's not like we're limiting ourselves on the cabbage. I add most of the cabbage, I think. We're gonna add all the cabbage. If I want more cabbage for something else, I have more cabbage. All the cabbage and enough salt to get the cabbage started sweating. We're going to take our temperature down by a tick. I'm not going to add sugar just yet. I'm going to let the cabbage get started before I add the carrot. So actually the carrot should get off the cutting board into our ingredient bowl. Okay, so I'm currently looking at two separate vegetable options. We're doing a tangy, like German cabbage slash slaw slash I'm almost tempted to put some, because we're already using black vinegar in place of balsamic. So I'm tempted now to, oh man, this is very low acidity vinegar. I didn't quite realize that. Explains why it's so sweet. Explains why it was so cheap too. So we're going to tend this a little bit to start with. Just sort of push it around, get these cabbages started softening up. I could, that might be too much of a chemistry issue, but you can make the purple in purple cabbage turn bright cyan blue if you can adjust the pH correctly. And that is a neat party trick. Let's see. I don't have any balsamic. I have red wine vinegar. We could go red wine vinegar and embrace the tanginess. I still don't know what the pork juice is going to end up tasting like. Blue is it's tricky to acquire, and it turns blue on the alkaline side. So you can also spoil your flavor by doing that. You got to be really careful with it. I actually tried doing it here on the show one time, and I failed because it's the juice of the red cabbage that changes colors. So it only really happens after you've extracted it into something. We might just do that as a chemistry problem sometime when I'm not planning on serving it to people and I don't have to worry about completely destroying the flavors. Because we always run the risk of just completely destroying the flavors if I go too crazy. Yeah, so we're gonna slow down a sec and just sort of push around our cabbage until it starts to look the beginnings of. It's already getting there a little bit, where it's getting a little wilty. That's probably a good time to add the carrots, because the carrots will add quite a bit of extra sweetness, and they will also unfortunately lose their color as this progresses. But I think I'm not going to go too crazy with it. Butter, sugar, vinegar, black pepper. I'm never one to say no to adding more black pepper. And then I guess we cover it and simmer it. So that'll be the back. The back burner is going to need to be on for a simmer. And okay, bunch of sugar, just a bunch, an unmeasured amount of sugar. And we are going to go with the red wine vinegar. So my red wine vinegar is a 6% acidity, and my black vinegar is a 2% acidity. So if I combine them, I would get a 4% acidity, and I'd get the flavors of both. So I think I'm probably going to actually do that. We're going to go with a half and half. Because they bring different things to the party here. Okay. Put that to the back burner. Grab a lid off of my brand new handy dandy lid-a-majig. I got a thing to hold my lids because they were just kind of migrating around the house because I didn't know where to put them. Pop the lid on that guy. He can simmer while we think about next steps. It smells very vinegary in here. Is that? I wish I had. I wish I had like a daikon or a cucumber to add a fresh. Oh, I've got. Okay, I've got I was gifted some pickle. Some pickled red stuff. I forget what this is. It's a pickled vegetable of some kind. We might just have that out as a service option to add to it. It's a beautiful color. What else are we doing? We have some thyme, pickled red stuff. You know, pickled red stuff. I forget what this is. It's crunchy. It's sweet. It's tangy. It's a root of some kind, I think. Real good. I think that's what we're going to be missing. I think what we're going to be missing is a crunch. Because the cabbage is going to go jammy. I think the onions and the peppers are going to be quick cooked into a tender crisp. There'll be a little bit of fresh green onion, but that's not really a crunch because it's so flimsy to begin with. Get out my wok, which has migrated to the other room here because I've got too many things now. I am running into the issue of I have a lot of time. Things are slowly cooking themselves. The thing I want to cook next is not going to take very long, and it will be better served fresh. So I shouldn't do that right away. So I guess I need to make another thing. Perhaps a dessert item to occupy some time. The oven is unoccupied, so we could potentially use the oven to make a dessert item. What do I have to work with? We have syrups, we have chocolate. What do you guys think? I don't think I want to add another element to the main. But we need to do something else, otherwise I'm going to just stand around here for an hour. What do you got? Just asking the internet for suggestions now. You guys can jump in too if you've got something. What about milk? Blueberry. My brain's going weird places. That might be a bad sign. I don't have any whipping cream, but I have evaporated milk, and you can use evaporated milk in place of whipping cream as long as you're not trying to whip it. Okay. We're gonna set the wok aside because I don't need it right just yet. Because now I am concocting. Okay. I think we're going full experimental. Full experimental nonsense. I want to attempt to make 3 small desserts using some slightly old blueberries. They're nothing wrong with them except that they are a little deflated. Oh, they smell real good. They're a little deflated because they've been in there a little bit. Blueberries. A blueberry. Maybe not these, but something. I'm just putting together ideas. Okay, let's get out a can of evaporated milk. Only 25 cents. Evaporated milk. Eggs. Oop. That is my rice, indicating that it is finished and is going to switch over to keep warm. Vegetable, and vegetable. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to work at all. I don't actually even know quite what I am doing. But we're going to just venture forth and see what happens. Mm. Mm. So I've got a can of evaporated milk, which is milk with water taken out of it. So it's more milk per milk. To which I am adding 2 eggs. Because I have in my head some kind of custardy thing. Should have gotten a bigger bowl. Some kind of a custardy thing. Break those yolks. I don't know where we're going with this. I completely don't know where we're going with this. It might end up being baked. Which would need some kind of a starch. Make it sort of cakey. Make it like a batter. Am I making a cake? Am I making a cake all of a sudden? A lot of liquid in it for a cake. Have I just abruptly decided to make a cake? Do I have any expert bakers in the house? What am I doing? What have I just done? How do I save it? It's gonna need other things. Evaporated milk, egg, sugar. Oh, weird. Oh, weird. Not what I thought at all. Baking on the fly seems like a bad idea. How much flour goes into this thing? Half a cup of sugar, 1.5 of flour to make a batter. Very little evaporated milk. I'm concerned that I've already messed up and don't know what's happening. So we're just gonna go soldier forth. I guess I'm turning the oven on. guess I'm turning the oven on. Oh, well, have fun. I'll post pictures as I usually remember to do. If I don't, bug me. We're gonna find out what happens when I just make something up in the realm of cooking that I'm least comfortable in. So I want it. I don't know what I want. I don't even know what it is. That I want at this stage. That's just flour. We're going to add flour. We're going to add sugar. We're going to probably need a bigger bowl because I can already see that I am running out of bowl. So let's find out. We have a sugar tower now, the tower of sugar. Oop. Tower of sugar is slightly stuck to itself on the top. Okay. How's the cabbage doing? Let's go check on it. Good shout. We will open it up. It's dry in there, but not completely dry. It's looking pretty good. The carrots have darkened quite a lot. I'm not seeing very many white bits. Let's get my sampling chopsticks out, grab a piece, see what it tastes like. We might add some water to it just to let it stew down a little bit. A smaller piece, I don't want a big crazy piece. It's tender, tangy. It's neither very salty nor very sweet, which I don't hate. Interesting. I think I want to give it just a little splash of water. Stir it around and let it steam a bit. But I would say it is very close to where I want it to be, so not too much more. We still have time on the meat, so we're doing stuff and things. Mix. I'm not putting any butter in there. Oh, parchment. That's probably a good idea. Mm. Well, let's put some flavor in there. Oop, you guys are over on the stove. I'm over here. I'm over here not measuring a baking recipe, and I use the word recipe in the loosest possible sense. There's no recipe. Today we are embracing the far-right conspiracy people, and instead of listening to the experts, we're just gonna collect our own data and see what happens. That is runny. What? What do you? What is it? It's a can of evaporated milk, 2 eggs, 2 scoops this size of flour, and 1 scoop this size of sugar, and about that much vanilla extract. So what is it? It's a batter of some kind. But it's not. I'm not following any recipe here. I'm barely paying attention to what I'm putting into it. We're gonna bake it. Whatever it comes out, we're gonna bake it. Does it need more flour? Now it's got baking powder in it. Because if I don't have some sort of leavener in there, it's just going to be like a quiche, I guess. So I don't have a name for it. If you have any suggestions at all, aside from throw it out, please don't do this, don't hesitate to jump in. I do not know what I am making here. I absolutely do not. It might be terrible. Maybe more flour. I don't know what consistency it's supposed to be, though. There's quite a lot of liquid in it. I guess I'm making a cake. I guess we've decided that I'm making a cake. What did I think I was making? I didn't. This is head empty baking. I just kind of started putting stuff together. I guess the first thing I thought of was a custard of some sort, but then I added flour to it. So I guess we're more in the realm of like a custard cake. This feels more like a batter. Might actually have enough body to hold. What we had before was almost like a pancake batter, and I actually might have been able to use it like a pancake batter. And made like sweet pancakes. Okay. At the moment, we have a much thicker batter going on. So it's ribbony. I can ribbon it. What do you think? Do we bake it, or do we try to make like a pancake out of it? I suppose there's enough here. I could try one pancake, see if it works at all, and if it fails, bake it. Can you bake pancake batter? Gosh, I should not have just started doing stuff. Oh well, it happens. No, not that pan. I am going to use a better pan. We're going to use this one. That's exactly what this guy is for. Our fancy new Griswold griddle. And by new, I mean old, because this company hasn't existed for 50 years or something. Oh yeah, the cabbage. I put a little bit of extra water in, stirred it around. I might just... I'm just going to turn the heat off and leave the lid on. And whatever it wants to do in there, it can do. You heat. So the griddle is perfect for pancakes because it's flat and wide and has low edges, so you can get in under it without fighting. And we've got our nice steel spatula so that we can really get under it. Yeah. So I guess we're all going to find out together what I made. It's probably edible. Probably edible. Get the surface buttered up. There, that's how you do it. Okay. Get the surface buttered up, push the extra butter to the edges. Let the butter start to get a little bit foamy from the heat. We don't want to put our whatever this is into a cold pan. I think we... No, it comes to part. I was going to say, I think we almost have a non-Newtonian fluid over here, but no, And we need a scooper to scooper it out with. Okay. Yeah. So what are you guys having for dinner? What's happening on your end? We're you can see teensy tiny bubbles forming in the butter, even though there's a chunk of unmelted butter there. But if I splash water on it, it doesn't spit or skitter. So we are still too cold. We still have time to play with stuff, so we're not running up against my clock just quite yet. Oh. Okay. It's hot on my hand, and it makes an audible sizzling. Let's give it a test with a drop of water. It probably needs a little bit more heat, but it's just about there. It's getting there pretty soon. Oh boy. I'm going to run us an ad right now to run it early to get it out of the way. So I'll see you in 90 seconds. Ooh-wee, the sky looks unpleasant out there right now. While I'm waiting for that to heat up and the ad is playing, I'm going to run to the front, check if I'm unlocked for arrivals. Okay. Okay, that's got to be hot enough. As soon as we're back from the ad, I will put batter on the pan and see what it do. Can you bake pancake batter? Let's ask Google. Apparently the answer was yes. I mean, makes sense, but... Okay, we're back. We are going to put this goop into that pan and see what it does. I get the feeling we're not going to get like normal pancakes. We're going to get something strange out of this. But I guess I'm going to treat it like a pancake for now and watch for bubbles. It sure doesn't look like a pancake. Well, I mean, it kind of does, but it's not firming up real fast the way a pancake does. Although we are starting to get some bubbles on the surface, so maybe. It looks like it's not going to be flippable. It looks too liquidy still to me, just eyeballing it. If it was a pancake, I would have had to have flipped it by now. Nope, it holds together. It looks like a pancake. I mean, it looks like the first one on a pan. It looks like that sort of sacrificial pancake, but it looks like a pancake. It did not fry like a pancake. We're gonna take this one off the pan and taste it and see what it do. I'm not very optimistic at the moment. I will say that. Get those little scraps out of there. Okay. It's not crepe-like. It's pretty thick, and it did not bubble like a pancake. The batter is much too thick to make a crepe. I think before I added the additional scoop of flour, I could have gotten it to really like spread out. I don't think we can do that anymore. It's kind of pale. It. We're gonna find out. I'm not thrilled with it, but it's solid, so I guess that means it's done. It's hot. It smells pancakey. We're gonna taste it and see what it do. Yeah, we're gonna taste it and see what it do. Ooh, it what it do is not want to cut. It's dense. It's sweet. I don't hate it. It's dense and sweet. It doesn't have the fluff of a pancake. I don't know what I would call it. It's not a crepe. It's not even really a cake. It's too thick, too dense. It's not sickeningly sweet, but it's definitely on the sweet side. It definitely reads as sweet, as desserty. My pan is smoking because I was not paying attention to it. I don't hate it. I guess we're going to do the rest of them like that while we are waiting for everything else. So, that one's going to touch the next one, and yep. Can't quite fit 3 in there. We'll have to cut them with the spatula on the edges where they touched. Pan's hotter now too, so they should cook a little bit faster. They're strange. They're a little strange. I'm adding fruit. Because. Because, why not? Pulled out the blueberries right at the start saying, I've got old blueberries, I've got to use them. Hey! We're looking a little more pancakey this time. Don't put 3 in the pan next time, but they look a little more pancakey this time. I think we can do 2 in that pan though. Okay. Okay. They're a little weird. They're a little weird. I'm not sure what I'm going to call them, but they're edible. We haven't wasted our ingredients. Probably could have made a cake out of this. Seeing as we're not, I'm going to turn the oven off. Oh, weird. At least the blueberries stay in there. They definitely are a little bit crowded. Okay. Well, it was bound to happen. They may just live in my fridge and be a leftover for me down the line. They're a little weird. Not gonna lie, they're a little weird. Oh my god.
What's up, Twitch stream?
Oh my god. They can't even see you. We're on the wrong angle.
Oh.
Bam!
Subscribe!
Look who it is.
Your free Prime membership once a month on your favorite creator. It could be this guy.
It could be me, but
It
probably
could be-
not because I'm terrible at this.
It could
but...
be anybody else.
Oh my god.
Because you love them.
I'm just
Don't
the
forget.
delivery boy.
Yeah, he brought me here.
We're making whatever this is.
Alright, I'm gonna get the fuck out of your way now. Hi, chat. Big shout out.
Oh.
Whoa. What's going on here, bro?
I've got things
Hey!
for guests.
This is the room.
That's the room. I'm gonna keep cooking.
Yeah.
But hey, they're here. We've got a little time to work with still. So
Sure. Oh, this is a nice. Don't ever talk to me that way
oh. So yeah, guests have arrived. They are
2023 fucking UWEC Foundation.
seating it there. You can hear them in the next room.
Can you?
I'm not sure, but
We're getting filtered down.
I can hear you in the next room.
What is up with this floor, dog?
I'll tell you about that later.
I'm worried. It's soft.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that later.
This is somebody should do something. This I'm gonna collapse. Oh, that's squishy.
Oh, so we have 14 minutes left on the pressure cooker, but then that has to release. We have the cabbage is probably just about. I mean, it's the heat's off, so it's got to be done at this point. And I'm just killing time on these pancake things while we wait for other things to catch up.
There's no bed in here. Maybe sleeps on a recumbent bus. Oh, scratch that. How many hands are trying this?
Okay. I'm not sold on these pancake things.
Where's the dog right now? He's gone in the office right now?
Well,
You can. You can do it manually.
I want to say we have
We should have been 30 seconds.
30 minutes. We probably have 30 minutes out on the meat because it has to depressurize. So, oh damn. Spread jam or cream cheese. Put two together. We could make sandwiches out of these. We could have made chocolate ones too. Shoot, that one hit the edge. Okay. So, once again, I kind of falling into a waiting pattern because these damn pressure cookers take so long. These pancake things are concerning me. Fortunately, I think I've only got one left to do. Eh. I'm gonna call it good enough and be kind of sad about it. I'm gonna call it good enough and be kind of sad about it. Get the last one out. Should have made a cake. Then we could have had another thing to wait on.
You know, it's a piece of cake to make a big cake.
It's so much different to have a peanut gallery I can actually hear.
You got to do the cooking by the book. So you can't be lazy.
They're not showing up on my audio mixer. Well, they show up a little bit on my audio mixer. I've been thinking about adding an audible Discord line so that people can heckle me all the time on Discord.
Yes. Self-flagellate more.
I'm trying to think of those little cakes, but they don't taste. They taste neither like a cake nor like a pancake. They taste like sweet quiche with flour in it. So weird. They're a little weird. Once this last one is done, I am going to switch cooking vessels, get the wok over here, start the wok heating up because we're going to want to cook the other vegetable option. Oh, I'm going to clean that schmutz off of the stove before it hardens in. Pull together things, get tidied up. I think I want the sharp knife for the meat. Make nice little pieces of it. Flip our last cake. I think I burned it because it's very black on top and it smells burnt. So it's that one's probably burnt. I'll eat that one. Or who knows? Maybe that's the best one. Could be the best one. It's probably burnt because all the sugar I put in there. Oh. Anyways, add out in 12 minutes. I wish the meat went a little bit faster because I want to see it. But as soon as this guy's done. Good enough. Okay. Get the griddle off the heat. We'll pop over and grab my wok.
Good experience, and you catch Pokemon. You make them your friends. You're going to catch them in this game. True. Each of them has a couple abilities, like maybe it's war.
With the heat still on, we have to move quick. So our goal with the onions and peppers, the remaining vegetables, is hot, fast. I want them to be tender crisp and a little bit browned on the edges, but still like holding their shape. They can go in one of the ingredient bowls when they are done. The cabbage service bowls. That griddle is extremely hot, and I'm wondering if I should keep it hot and use it to crisp off the surface of the meat when it comes out, because the meat's going to be a little bit. I'm going to want to darken off the edges. It's something you can't get in the pressure cooker. Is those crispy edges. I'm going to put these out here because I don't know where else to put them.
Oh.
Because I'm running out of room.
Put them in my mouth.
Because I'm running out of room. Those are dessert.
Oh, man.
I just don't have a place to put stuff. Okay, is our wok hot? Our wok is hot. Okay, with no sauces, no starches, no proteins, we in theory shouldn't even need a wok scraper for this. We should just be able to toss it. Although the sugars might start to stick. So we'll get one ready anyways. Okay. Okay. That and that. I'm going to throw the thick parts of the green onions in there as well. While those guys get started, we'll slice up the remainder of the green onions for garnish. Oop, missed a piece. Those guys there. Okay. Doing a stir fry with nothing but the vegetables is a little weird. Feels a little weird. Feels like something else should be going on in the pan. and heat up a little bit. I actually want to see if we can't get some of those crispy brown edges. There's a few blueberries left, so I guess I will hang on to them. Bits, pieces. Still have a minute on the meat before it needs to start depressurizing. Ah, that is hot. Which is a good sign. We will test its doneness. It's getting tender crisp. I just want those brown edges. We're probably going to lose our crisp if I go any further than that. So we will just get rid there. Okay. The heat is off. The heat is. Put that in a bowl. Put the wooden spoon. Beep, beep, beep. That's a good sign. Now we're not supposed to depressurize it immediately, of course. We're supposed to let it depressurize itself for a while. But I'm going to ask Google, what happens if I depressurize it early? Am I doing a starch? Yes, we have rice. Rice is the starch. We're forming like a rice bowl thing. What happens if I pressure? Release. Early on an Instant Pot. Yeah, I know about natural pressure release. What if you open it early? Unreleased pressure can cause the appliance to explode. Okay, I guess we're not going to do that.
Like you have to build from scratch. Yeah, you can't do it like after the fact. You take a wall and put a door in it. Like all those old early 1900s carpenter
Okay.
style houses have pocket doors. All of them.
Have a quick release.
Other places. So like the house I was living in before.
Well, unfortunately, we have a little bit of a wait because you're not supposed to. We need to let the pot. I think I could get you on. See if I can get you on the camera here. The pot. There's the pot. Is highly pressurized. You cannot see the timer. The timer on the front there is telling us how long we are depressurizing it. Clearly, it is too pressurized to even move it. So we're not going to. but that means that I have a little bit of a wait time again. So I guess the smartest thing is just to clean up the house, or clean up the kitchen a bit while I am waiting.
Is your microphone on you?
Right there, microphone on me right there.
Awesome.
We're waiting for the pot to depressurize, because if I depressurize it too early, it may explode.
Yeah.
So,
Well, then where's the fun in that?
so will be a bit of a delay because of that.
And then we got pancakes now.
Oh, so I guess bear with me for a minute. Let's see, we're making like a rice bowl thing, so
It's the cabbage.
it's the cabbage, the legendary cabbage.
Friggin' cabbage. Sick.
We put a shell on top to keep things from getting too cold while they're sitting around. Although the cabbage, I think, will be fine either way. Okay, gonna have to make one fancy bowl for myself.
For the edit.
Oh. Okay, yeah. We don't need to look at that. Okay, so, oh, rice. I can get the rice in its own service bowl while we're waiting as well. That's a thing we can do. Looks like that's just about as much rice as this rice cooker can handle, because we are full up. I would have made a bigger amount of rice like this in the magic pot normally, but we might have too much rice. We might have too much rice. No such thing as too much rice. You can always use leftover rice. But I might have not needed quite as much rice as I ended up making. Which is fine. Which is fine. Better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. I guess we'll put it back in the pot and let it keep warm. I've been waving at the guests. They're just beyond the passageway here.
Yes, and we are impatient.
They can hear me. They keep screaming about how hungry they are. They're dying. What do we think? Which bowl do we use? I think because we're making little fancy individual bowls out of this, we're going to use these guys. The brown bowl. So we'll deposit 2 of these out here. Deposit.
Oh my god.
We'll use this time for getting all the place settings ready and everything. Dig around for matching silverware.
Although, yes, that's fair. Finally, some service.
I've already got a set of chopsticks, so 2 sets of chopsticks, 2 spoons. I'm hoping the meat will be soft enough to just cut with either a chopstick or a spoon. That's the dream. Ryuya, hi, welcome in. Yes, leftover rice is never a problem. You can always make fried rice, you can make rice puddings, you can make anything. I've made you mix an egg into it and you fry it like a cake. Leftover rice is incredibly versatile. We're at 9 minutes on the pressure. The thing is supposed to be, well, here. I will do a comparison with an official instruction book item that pressurized for about as long as I had that one in there, just to see what they think. They expect you to pressure cook like anything. Oh, according to this, okay. Well, I guess I'm going to depressurize it now. Hold on to your butts.
Happy to hold on to your butt.
There it goes. So they don't have pork belly in the official. That's loud. They don't have pork belly in the official instructions for the pot, but they do have brisket, which has a similar connective tissue to it, and it just says quick release it. So I guess we don't need to wait very long at all. And then it'll tell me when it has no pressure left, which means we're right up to the edge here. I gotta move stuff. Oh, it smells good. At least it smells good. I've already got this pan out, so I think I'm going to wipe off the burnt on pancake scraps. And we're going to use the griddle to crisp up the surface of our, there's the beep, so it's safe to open the pressure pot. We want to be over here for that because I'm going to take it out onto a board, onto this board. Okay. Unlock, unlock, open. What do we got?
Yo, that smells so fucking good, dude.
It does it.
I can really taste the balance, or smell the balance of soy sauce and red wine.
It's moving on its own a little. It's moving on its own a little bit. It's moving on its own a little bit more than I expected it to.
4K.
We definitely have a crazy tender thing happening. I don't want to put it on this board. I think it's going to soak into the board. I'm going to put it on a plate. Ooh, that one's falling. Okay, one of them is holding together just enough that I can pull it out. The other one is absolutely falling apart. This is, I don't know, the people on the internet who said you can't pressure cook a pork belly super tender were damn liars. We're damn liars. This stuff is so tender I can barely pick it up. It's so tender I can barely lift it. I have to switch to the big silicone tongs because they have a bigger gripping surface. There you go. Okay. It is absolutely fall apart tender. We're going to let that steam off a little bit before I handle it because it is literally hotter than boiling. Turn that guy off. Where did I put my other? Okay. 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 Join me, won't you, over on the stove? That on max heat. We're going to attempt to reduce the sauce a bit. It already reduced actually quite a lot. Oh. Okay. Okay, this pan is smoking hot. We're going to Okay, so we're crisping up the surface on these guys now, although they are so tender and the pan is so hot that we really do not need them on there very long at all. Also, it's going to get smoky if I leave them on there, so we have to be very quick about it. I need my scraper, which needs to have the blueberries cleaned off of it. I don't think we're going to have time to reduce that sauce unless I really make a smaller quantity of it. So, I guess we will do that. Put that there, let that boil. Guy is so tender, he's literally falling apart. Okay, okay. This would be the time for a vent hood, which I do not have. these guys off of here. Turn that off, get that pan to stop smoking before I set my alarms off. That would be good. I keep putting my... Put that there, put that there. Okay. We're going to let that... That's the juice from our braise, which is bubbling away like crazy. We're going to let that go as long as possible just to see if it can potentially thicken up. I'm going to, now that we've got a crisp surface on these guys, slice them, put them on a service plate. Should have picked out a service plate before I got that other plate dirty, but a little sharp knife. It's smoky as hell in here. So I'm going to cut these. So normally I think you would cut them the long way, and I'm going to cut these into little like small pieces using the big knife. Oh God, it's so tender I can barely cut it because the knife just like crushes it. Okay, we're not getting little slices, we're just getting, it's almost like it's shredding. It's so tender. So I probably actually could have put it in the pressure cooker for less time and had service on the table already. Oh, but I think we're definitely in the home stretch here because all the elements are together. I just have to assemble a plate for the photo op, give you some tasting notes, and we are good to go. Okay. So it's much more tender than I was even expecting from this. So once again, the pot has impressed me immensely. There it is. It's so tender that it just disintegrates when you're trying to cut it. I should taste it.
I mean, once I
Great news.
Oh, I don't want to wipe this stuff down though, because this is the delicious juices. Mmm, delicious juices. Oh my. Mmm. Pork belly is a sometimes food because Jesus Christ is it fatty, but also, oh my God, is it tasty. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start assembling a bowl here, and once again, hope that they hope that the sauce comes together adequately. Otherwise, we are in the home stretch. And yes, I got to feed the people. So I'm surprised the color didn't stay that sort of dark purplish. It looks like it re-extracted the purple back into the juice. I need to bring in. I've been shunned from my own dining room.
I guess that's cool. You're supposed to have them on here. Supposed to be here. It's supposed to work as a computer. I did twice once. I forget how to do it. It's sauce. Yeah, it's curry sauce. And I put some cheese in it first, which is your cheese. And then I said, "Why are you licking that so hard?"
I'm being trolled as soon as I go in there to grab something. And let's see if that sauce has thickened up. It's been boiling hard since I got it out of there.
In the front, they're all new. They're like it's this long.
Oh, and sesame seeds. Of course, we got to have sesame seeds. And I want to say a drizzle of sesame oil, but this might be fatty enough that we don't need it. Is this stuff thick enough to call a sauce? Stick a spoon in it, see what it does. It is not thick enough to call a sauce. It's still just juice. It's because we had to add all that water to it. If it had just been the... I wonder if I had added half as much water, if we could have gotten it reduced. I learned some things today, which is good. Good sign. We can still make that thicken into a sauce. I just have to force it with some cornstarch. Which we will do right now. Should have gotten a deeper bowl for this. Get some cornstarch, hydrate your cornstarch so that you don't have lumps. Add to the thing, stir it around real quick. It should rapidly thicken. I'm trying to heat down on that actually. It should rapidly thicken into sort of a glazy sauce. So we're not managing to get a reduction, but we are managing to get a sauce that I believe will coat my spoon. I'm doing it on a burner so nobody can see it, but yeah, we're getting the back of the spoon, so. Ooh, ooh, it's so good. Ooh, it's real good. Okay. Final step. Oop, I have frozen my camera. I managed to somehow find the combination of colors and shapes that freezes the camera again. Push everything up a little bit. Okay, sauce my plate. Remaining sauce goes in a pitcher. Whoa, that freaked the camera. What is it doing? I guess the camera is telling me it is time to replace the camera. Damn. I've never seen it go quite that freaky. Take that away. Yeah, look at that. Look at that camera go. Weird. Okay. We are done cooking. Let me move things.
Oh, it's so succulent. Hey, it's still warm.
Move everything out so that they can get started.
Oh, finally.
And then I will do my wrap-ups.
Thanks, Daddy.
Sesame seed, sesame seed. Where did I put my chopsticks? My chopsticks. Okay.
Glamour.
I forgot to check.
Glamour.
Forgot to check if there's an ad about to play or not. I got like a stripy flag thing going on. Okay, we'll come back and give it a taste, give you some tasting notes, and then we will wrap up so that I can go entertain the people. I don't even think I actually need the chopsticks. I really want to taste this pork. That's the thing we're going for first and foremost. Do I have an ad? We have an ad. We're just going to snooze off the ad. Taste this thing. Okay. Pork is so tender I can barely feel my teeth going through it, which is crazy. It's surprisingly tangy. I think it's actually from the cabbage. It's a good sort of sharpness to balance out the fattiness of the pork. I don't think I've broken any ground, but I am very impressed with. I think we could have cooked that pork for less time and had it work out. I was worried when the internet was so doom and gloom about it, but they were all liars. I think the suggestion of the cabbage was great because otherwise we didn't have anything sharp and acidic to balance this out. And then the tender crisp stir-fried vegetables are mostly just textural, but the pork, honestly, it's sweet, savory, not terribly salty. And I can't say I can taste the wine, but I can taste there's like a hint of some complexity in there. It's probably coming from the wine because there's nothing else in, unless it's coming from the molasses. I did put some straight molasses in there too. That has a lot of complexity to it. When you cook something that intensely for that long, you end up losing the nuances of the individual flavors. They all combine, which we definitely pulled off here. I'm just amazed that the pork is so ridiculously fall apart I can break with a spoon. Okay. I'm going to abridge my tasting notes today so that I can wrap up and go join my guests. So let's find someone to raid off to. I'm going to drop us at Hecky. Okay, well, that was a learning experience. I think it's pretty tasty. I don't know about those blueberry griddle cake things. Those seem a little weird, but yeah. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks to my lovely guests for showing up. I would have made this even if they weren't. So you're not special. But it is nice to share something like this. Eating a whole pork belly by myself would be very not good for me. So, yeah, I don't think I'll be able to be here this week, or at least definitely not on Saturday. We're having I'll be attending a wedding on Saturday, which will take up my time. So, I guess look for me next week. Tuesday is Halloween Day, So I guess I should do something spooktacular for it. So stay tuned for that. And then I'm just going to wave at the camera while the countdown timer goes. There it goes. See you next time. Thanks for hanging out. I enjoyed it. Especially now, yes. Well, I've been trying to invite more people. Oop, and there it goes. And there it goes.